right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Snow and rain. What's next as this system moves through the St. Louis area?
Only on 5 on your side. Startling video of a crash involving a St. Louis police cruiser. Its sirens were blaring, its lights flashing. Tonight, our I-team uncovers the law officers may have broken. And just hours ago, tensions run high while discussing public safety in St. Louis.
Please listen to me. Wow, please listen to me.
The issues where city leaders and citizens don't see eye to eye. We start tonight under a weather alert. The Weather First team is tracking a mix of rain and snow falling across the bi-state. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Right now, what's falling from the sky depends on where you live. We have our storm tracker out in St. Charles County as we keep an eye on the roads for you tonight. But first, let's get straight over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell for the latest information on the storm's track and timing. Scott.
You know, we've had some rain, we've had some snow. If you go north and west of St. Louis, that's where you're more likely to have that ground white right now with snow. Upwards of a couple of inches in a few places, especially parts of Warren, Lincoln, up into Pike County. And St. Charles right now, we're looking on 70. Traffic is rolling along eastern parts of St. Charles County versus western parts of St. Charles County. Kind of different there, and that's been the case here. Just going across the region from east to west, you run into that snow. So east and southeast of St. Louis, it's been mainly rain. This is a mix of rain and snow in the metro area. And at times, you have some pretty good sized snowflakes falling across parts of Madison County, even into North St. Louis County. We've seen them from time to time, but not a lot in terms of accumulation. And the back edge of this first shield is sliding to the northeast with some additional development down there towards Rolla. Here's the important thing. Temperatures all across the area are above freezing right now, with the exception of Litchfield at 32. So for the most part, roads, while it's snowing and doing so at that pretty intense clip, tend to get a little slushy or covered. But then we basically start the melting process again once the snow lets up in intensity. And it's let up in intensity out around Lambert. Not a lot showing up right now. A mix of light rain and snow, and temperatures actually will start to climb, we think, a few degrees overnight. So rain and snow will continue. More snow to the north and west, 1 to 3 inches. That's pretty much what you have. Don't think we're going to get much more tonight. Snow will be changing to rain as we head into the hours after midnight, and tomorrow some morning rain showers for all of us. And then we'll switch back to an area of snow tomorrow afternoon, along with some gusty winds. More on that in a few minutes, Mike.
And a blanket of snow tonight in Troy, Missouri. While a lot of that snow is melting on the pavement, a slushy mess is causing some issues on the roads.
And both MoDOT and IDOT have crews out. 5 on your side, Robert Townsend and photojournalist Don Galloway are out in the storm tracker tonight in St. Charles County. So, Robert, how is it looking where you are?
Hey there, Kelly. You know, right now we are still seeing that rain, slushy snow mix out here in St. Charles County. Let me tell you this, about an hour ago, we left downtown St. Louis, hopped on Interstate 70 West, and first rode into this wintry mix. Initially it was light, but then it got extremely thick and started falling fairly quickly. You can see light, wet snow on grassy areas out here. Now, MoDOT and IDOT crews, again, they're also keeping a close eye on the road conditions. Both are ready for whatever blows our way tonight. And they tell me again on Friday they are bracing for potentially a much bigger winter storm that may cover the roads, overpasses in the entire region with snow. If needed, their road crews will put in 12-hour shifts, plowing the major roads, interstates, of course, the highways and overpasses on both sides of the river. But again, right now at this 10 o'clock hour, we can tell you that you are looking at on again, off again, a rain slushy snow mix along I-70 east from St. Charles County as we head back into St. Louis County. You might say this is the calm before Friday's anticipated storm. I can tell you that the good news is, despite these wet conditions, we really haven't seen any weather-related car crashes. Of course, if you're heading out tonight, you definitely want to take your time, pay attention to these road conditions, and just be extremely safe. We're live in St. Charles County. I'm Robert Townsend in the Storm Tracker.
All right, thank you, Robert and Don. Remember, you can get the latest Weather First forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355 and we'll send it to your phone. You can also stream the latest forecast on 5 Plus. It is free to download on your Roku, Fire, or Apple TV. And the Today in St. Louis team will be here starting at 4 a.m. with the latest forecast and road conditions.
Tonight, a panel of St. Louis city leaders addressed public safety, taking questions from the community. The room was packed and it filled 2 overflow rooms. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski just got back from that meeting and brings us details on several topics that were discussed tonight. Laura.
Mike, the conversation got very heated at times, and they weren't able to get to everyone's questions, but public safety leaders did give some important updates on daily issues affecting everyone.
St. Louis Public Safety Director Charles Coyle says they've made some big improvements to the 911 system. Last year, they were down 50 dispatchers, and on Monday, he says they are only down 16 dispatchers.
We now are taking calls. We have a national standard of within 10 seconds to answer 90% of our calls. This time last year, we were answering in the upper 50 and 60%.
While St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy says they are still down 300 police officers to respond to those calls, overall violent crime is down and have nearly reached a 10-year low on homicides.
And the homicides number was 158 this year. That's progress. That's not a celebration. That's way too many homicides that we're having.
Some of that success he attributed to a good working relationship with St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore.
If you have an environment in which people believe that they can commit violent crimes with impunity, you're going to have more violent crimes. So I do think that our office stepping in and effectively prosecuting violent crime has had a direct impact in saving lives.
Gore says since hiring 44 people to the staff, they've been able to more effectively work through the backlog of over 6,700 cases and start a new diversion program.
We're going to have people going into diversion without ever having to participate in the criminal justice system, and thereby avoiding the harms that can be caused by getting engaged with the criminal justice system, having to plead guilty to a felony.
President of the Board of Aldermen, Megan Green, made a commitment tonight that everyone who asked a question and provided an email will get an answer to those questions. She also invited everyone to the Board of Aldermen meetings and hearings where she encouraged them to share their concerns from tonight.
New tonight, we are learning more about a crash that caused a police SUV to roll over several times in downtown St. Louis. Exclusive footage of the Sunday afternoon crash shows the officer never slowed down before clipping another car. Tonight, the I-Team's Christine Byers is learning what the law and experts say about how first responders should approach intersections.
Here's what we now know about the crash that sent this police SUV tumbling along Olive near police headquarters Sunday. The department confirms the officer who was driving has less than a year on the force. His partner has 1 year. They were working an overtime detail downtown and rushing to a call for an officer in need of aid about 4 miles away in the Central West End.
When they get those calls, they can't be of assistance to that officer if they never make it.
John Wetzel is a former sheriff from Oklahoma. His wife and 2-year-old daughter were killed by a fellow officer chasing a motorcycle in 1980.
When a law enforcement officer ran a stop sign at 100 miles an hour and hit the car broadside, I was dispatched to that scene to assist at the scene, and that's how I learned.
Ever since, he has devoted his career to training first responders on best driving practices. He now leads the Traffic Safety Committee for the National Sheriff's Association.
When you prepare an approach to enter an intersection, a vehicle needs to be slowed, or if an approaching vehicle from a side street enters the intersection, you'll be able to stop and to avoid a collision.
Even Missouri state law requires it. It states first responders can proceed past a red or stop signal or stop sign, but only after slowing down as may be necessary for safe operation. Violating that law is a Class A misdemeanor.
It's as much for the safety of the officer as it is for the citizens.
The police department confirmed today that the driver of the car that struck the officer's SUV refused medical treatment at the scene. So did the drivers of 2 other cars the police SUV struck. The officers were released with non-life-threatening injuries.
We lose far too many officers every year to motor vehicle crashes, and too often those are caused by actions that officers could have prevented.
For the I-Team, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
And the police department did not answer the I-Team's questions about the department's policy when it comes to approaching intersections. They also did not say whether the officers were wearing seatbelts or how fast they were traveling. If you have a tip for Christine and the 5 on your side I-Team, you can leave a voice message at 314-444-5231 or send an email to tips@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
Tonight we're hearing from Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft just hours after police had him walk out of his Jefferson City home with his hands up. Turns out he was a victim of swatting. Ashcroft tells us he got a call from police last night telling him they were outside after receiving a call for a shooting at his home.
They didn't know if it was real or not at that time. I didn't know. I mean, they'd said they were the police, but I didn't know if it was someone just playing games with me or what was going on.
Swatting is when someone makes a prank call to police telling them to send the SWAT team to a specific address. And there's been a rise in swatting incidents at the homes of public officials. New signs could be put up along Coldwater Creek in North St. Louis County, warning residents about possible radioactive waste. Signs already warn people not to play, swim, or fish in the creek, but the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers say newer signs would let residents know where to go for accurate information and resources. The creek has been contaminated for decades with radioactive waste from the Manhattan Project during World War II.
Scare in the air tonight. Critical discoveries after a scare in the air.
So these phones fell out of the sky 16,000 feet and still work just fine.
Plus the move late tonight to get grounded Boeing jets back in the skies. Get your motor running to warm up your car. But is this winter hack illegal? We verify.
The heaters are going to get a workout this weekend, but right now it's rain and snow moving through the region. The transition from rain to snow tomorrow and where the problem areas are expected to be.
Our storm tracker is still out tonight, checking on conditions for you as rain and snow falls across the area. It is causing some slick spots on the road. We're taking a look at I-70 in North St. Louis County. Both MoDOT and IDOT tell us they are keeping an eye on those conditions. Right now, temperatures are above freezing, so no major issues, but take it easy out there.
21 people are recovering tonight after an explosion at a historic Texas hotel. At least one person is in critical condition. It happened this afternoon at the Sandman Signature Fort Worth Hotel. The blast caused debris to rain down on the street below the 20-story building. They're still investigating what caused the explosion, but firefighters believe it was some kind of gas explosion.
New information tonight about that terrifying mid-air scare aboard an Alaska Airlines plane after a door plug detached over Portland, causing a decompression explosion. Tonight, we're getting our first look at the door plug from the Boeing 737 MAX 9 jet. The door was found in the backyard of a home near Portland International Airport. 2 other people found cell phones belonging to passengers.
The odds of me finding a phone are astronomical. The odds of it surviving the drop are crazy. Sure, I dropped my phone 5 feet off the table and it cracks, and this phone lands out of an airplane from 16,000 feet up and it's just fine.
The FAA has grounded 171 MAX 9s in the U.S., forcing Alaska and United Airlines to cancel hundreds of flights. Late tonight, the agency approved a process to inspect those planes and then return them to service.
Back off. That is the message tonight from 4 former Clayton mayors to the Clayton School District about its plans to buy the headquarters of footwear retailer Caleres Inc.
According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, the former leaders sent a letter to school officials calling the deal unwise. It could cost the city and district $1 million a year in lost property tax revenue. The 9-acre campus sits on Maryland Avenue. That's just steps for Clayton High School. The district released a statement today calling the purchase a unique and pivotal opportunity. It reads in part, "We cannot and will not invest in a real estate endeavor that does not respect the symbiotic relationship between our district and City of Clayton." The purchase price has not been released, but the current appraised value is more than $33 million.
Tax time is almost here. You can start filing your 2023 federal returns 3 weeks from today. The IRS announced it will begin accepting them on January 29th. You have until April 15th to file. Refunds are expected to be issued in less than 21 days, but that wait could get longer the later you file. As we head into the worst of winter, no one wants to get into an ice-cold car, right? Well, a long-held coping mechanism, warming your car up. But could that small act of comfort be illegal? Tonight, Ann Allred verifies.
The question, is it illegal to warm up personal cars in the St. Louis region? Our sources, City of St. Louis law, Missouri law, and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. Let's start with the City of St. Louis because its laws are different than the rest. A St. Louis City law that went into effect in 2008 says you cannot warm up your car for longer than 5 minutes. If temperatures are below freezing, you can warm it up for 10 minutes. If you don't follow the law, you could face a fine of up to $100. Now, for the rest of the surrounding counties, idling laws only apply to heavy-duty diesel vehicles or diesel vehicles weighing more than 10,000 pounds. The time limits vary by county, but maximum idling times are usually between 3 to 5 minutes. We can verify it's not illegal to warm up your personal car in the St. Louis region, but specifically in St. Louis City, there are time limits to how long you can warm it up. What can I verify for you? Email me. The email address, verify@ksdk.com. I'm Ann Allred, 5 on your side.
We're in a weather alert, and Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is back with the latest on this wintry mix, Scott.
Yeah, you know, the rain, the snow, it's all been with us this evening, depending on where you are. Once again, we had those big fat flakes north and west of St. Louis. Even there, though, only about 2 inches in Troy, about 2.5 inches up towards Bowling Green, 2 to 3 inches heading up towards Quincy, and this first wave kind of sliding on out. Now, tomorrow afternoon, we'll be on the backside of this, wrapping things around, and really, that's when we'll have the chance of seeing some accumulation closer to the metro area. It still is not expected to be a big problem for us tomorrow. You can see the back edge of this first good-sized wave sliding in from the west now, just getting in towards New Melly, sliding in now down into the Pacific area. So you're going to see things taper off here. You've had the mix of snow and rain to the north and west of St. Louis. In fact, mostly snow for much of the evening. That's sliding on to the north. Warmer air will be filtering in from the south. And we're still above freezing around the metro. Pacific's 34, 36 in Creve Coeur. It's 33 over in Troy, Illinois. Muscuta's 37. So with temperatures above freezing, you know, once we get the snow to let up, for those areas that have seen those big fat flakes in it coming down a little bit harder, then the melting can get underway. So roads will improve as it winds down. And we should all see some more rain tonight, as you'll see in just a minute. 37 right now. We've had over 0.4 of an inch of liquid at Lambert. So that rain-snow line shifting to the north here through the evening hours. We'll still have some more rain. In fact, more will be developing and sliding in here towards daybreak. I think tomorrow morning during the rush hour, there could be some heavier showers, rain showers in the area. Temperatures are in the low 40s early tomorrow. On the backside of this stronger storm system, we bring in some colder air. We will bring in some bands of snow. The better chances for accumulation with this, again, will be to the north and west of St. Louis. What's been lacking, the cold air. And even then, temperatures are only around freezing towards the evening hours. So 1 to 3 inches may be pushing it to the northwest. But that's why we have the winter weather advisories in effect northwest of St. Louis for tomorrow evening. Perhaps a dusting up to an inch as we get closer to the metro area. Other big thing for tomorrow, really, it's going to be those winds. As this system pulls away, your winds in the morning, well, they're gusting 15 to 20, but in the afternoon into the evening hours, we're going to be looking at wind gusts 35 to 45 miles per hour. That's as this system pulls away. It is a massive storm system that is lifting to the north and east. Blizzard ongoing back into parts of Kansas tonight. Northern Missouri will get in on some of that heavier snow as well. Overnight tonight into tomorrow. Up into Iowa, they've already had some significant snow. So the bottom line is you don't want to travel outside of St. Louis going farther north and west, at least through tomorrow. But getting around the metro area, we're going to be just fine tomorrow morning for the rush hour. And probably tomorrow evening, there'll be some snow coming down but not a huge issue.
But once we hit the weekend, the temperatures
It's
are really going
cold
to change.
air.
Yeah, on Friday, we get a system that likely does produce some rain to more significant snow, and then you pipe busting lows over the weekend. Yeah, not good.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, we have Mizzou football getting more players from St. Louis. We have the Blues prospects really developing, and we're playing hit and run with one of the coolest hockey people in the area. Stick around, please.
This team is on track to win it all this year.
Every day, Mercy's team is ready to take care of yours, bringing you the care you need now. Find out all the ways to access Mercy at mercynow.net.
My name is Christian, and I use Signature Kitchen and Bath for my bathroom remodel. So we've lived in the house for about 2 years now. One of the biggest things was the bathroom was just out of date. One of the things that we did was remove the jacuzzi tub and install a soaker tub. It was one of the things my wife had on her list, so we had to make sure we got that. Walking into that space in the morning just gives me the energy to start the day. I would 100% recommend Signature Kitchen and Bath. We've had nothing but great memories and times with this process.
Need to update your furniture? Menards is your one-stop shop with all of the latest furniture styles at the lowest prices. Plus a great selection in stock, ready to take home today. So go ahead, relax in a recliner, get cozy in a love seat, or simply unwind with a comfy sofa. Save big money and check out the Ritzy collection today. Right now, get this sofa for $499.99 after $100 mail-in rebate. Hurry in. These deals won't last long.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today.
Every day.
We are adding to the star power in our studio.
We got Olivia Rodrigo.
Can't wait to see my Today family.
Everything and everyone you're talking about. Only on Today.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
Tonight, the national championship game in college football, and if this is Jim Harbaugh's last game, he went out in style. And this play summed it up. Fourth quarter, Blake Corum, 12-yard touchdown run. Michigan over 300 yards rushing. The Wolverines win the national championship 34-13. Mizzou would like to play in this game next year, and if the guy on the left could play a role, that could be very possible. He's the former Westminster star, Sterling Webb. Webb entered the portal and left New Mexico State after 2 seasons to become a Mizzou Tiger. All conference, 6'2", 290, and Drink had him at hello.
I felt like he was a genuine person, so like talking to coach, he told me the truth. Either you're going to come here and play, or you're going to be developed to be able to play, because they don't want to just put any old product onto the field.
A very good hockey team changes the tone of the town. Not saying we are there yet, but the Blues have won 7 out of 10 under Drew Bannister. They host Florida tomorrow night. General Manager Doug Armstrong gushed today about the performance of the Blues prospects at the World Junior Championships and this goal by Jimmy Snuggerud. It really got his attention. The Blues' top pick in 2022 led Team USA to the gold medal with 5 goals in 6 games, and he could be here kind of quickly.
He's going to be a power play player. He can score from distance. That's hard to do, as we know. We've had some players that can score from distance, and they're just game breakers. They have the ability to score, and I think playing with someone potentially like Robert Thomas is going to Robert will enjoy all the helpers he can get if this guy can do this at the NHL level.
On Mondays, we often play hit and run with a sports celebrity. Mike McKenna, the pride of Parkway South, is one of 3 goalies to play for 9 different NHL teams. This summer, he goes into the St. Louis Hockey Hall of Fame. Tonight, he plays hit and run. Most satisfying moment of your career?
First win and shutout. It's the same game.
Worst possible place you've ever played a game?
Houston had the worst ice I've ever skated on. It was like 5 grit sandpaper. Nice city, terrible ice.
One coach in hockey history to motivate your team?
New Jersey Devils, Jacques Lemaire.
Your grandfather, legendary official. Has he ever been an official for one of your games? And did you ever get the benefit of the doubt?
That's a great question, Frank. He was actually, I didn't enjoy him working my games because he gave me advice along the way during it, and he kindly stepped aside and just watched my games as I got older.
Wait a minute, during a game while he's officiating, he would say something to you?
Yeah, that one got through the old 5-hole there, eh, Michael? Yeah, he'd be critiquing me on the ice, and I just couldn't handle it. So Grandpa just turned into, he was a spectator by the end of it.
Since you had quite a few two-day contracts, describe the difference, travel, food, hotel, AHL, NHL.
Oh, from the time I started in 2005 to when I finished in 2019, day and night, the American Hockey League was whatever sub or pizza you could get after a game. In the NHL, I mean, you're choosing between lobster ravioli and filet mignon on the plane. You know what I mean, Frank? So it wasn't just the money that encouraged you to be in the NHL. The NHL is the never hungry league.
What does it mean to go into the St. Louis Hockey Hall of Fame?
It gives me goosebumps hearing that, and especially because my grandfather was among the first that were inducted into it in the first year, and to be multi-generational, and thinking of him and how he stayed with me through my whole career, it's amazing to think he's only in my life for 14 years, but every day I think of him. His initials were on my stick for every game until today. They always will be.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, what a cool moment that's going to be in August for Mike.
All right, thanks, Frank.
We'll hear from Scott again with the latest on another round of rain and snow for tomorrow. Let's check with Scott again for this mix of a forecast.
Yeah, it is. And, it's not a big deal for St. Louis. We started talking about it last week, saying it's a big storm in the Midwest, but not necessarily for us. And by Friday night, we pretty much pinned this down to being mostly rain in the metro and then north and west being snow. This is the first wave that's been coming through this evening. Yes, it's put down 1.5 inches to 3 inches of snow over our northern and western counties, but now that it's letting up, the anticipation is, the intensity is, that is. Now that it's letting up a bit, we're going to see things kind of settling down here for the overnight hours. So we're going to make a transition to mostly rain. Then tomorrow morning, it's rain showers. We'll transition to a period of snow tomorrow evening. Then it gets cold next weekend.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis starting at 4 a.m.